Have you ever cancelled plans with people and actually felt relieved, but then your cat walked over, curled up next to you, and you felt something so quiet and right that you couldn't even explain it? Most people would say you bond with cats because they're easy, low maintenance, independent. But that's not really why. That explanation is way too simple, and it misses the whole point. Because if you're an introvert, what's happening between you and your cat goes much deeper than convenience. And if you've been calling yourself just a cat person without understanding what's actually going on, you've been selling yourself short. There are 5 real psychological reasons why introverts form the deepest bonds with cats. And the last one explains something you've probably felt your whole life, but never had the words for. Here's the first thing you need to understand. Introverts and cats run on the same kind of energy. Think about this. After a long day of being around people, talking, smiling, performing, you come home. You don't want noise. You don't want questions. You just want to breathe. And your cat? They walk over, sit near you, and just exist with you. No demands. No performance required. That's not a coincidence. Psychologists call this co-regulation, when 2 nervous systems sync up and calm each other down. Your body and your cat's body are actually doing this together. Your breathing slows, your shoulders drop, and researchers at the University of Missouri found that this kind of quiet physical closeness raises oxytocin, that's the bonding hormone, in both humans and their pets. You always told yourself the reason you love coming home to your cat is because it's peaceful. But what's actually happening is your nervous system is finding the one relationship in your life where it doesn't have to work so hard. That is not a small thing. That is exactly what your body has been looking for. The next time you walk through your front door and your cat shows up, notice what happens in your chest. That feeling is your whole body exhaling. Here's the second thing. Introverts don't communicate the way the world expects them to. You've probably spent a lot of your life feeling like you're doing conversation wrong, like you're supposed to fill silences but don't want to, like being quiet makes people uncomfortable, like too many words somehow get in the way of what you actually mean. And then you look at your cat and you realise you two have a whole language that has nothing to do with talking. A look, a slow blink, the way they position themselves near you, the way you already know what they need without them making a sound. Researchers who study human-animal communication call this non-verbal attunement, the ability to connect deeply through presence, not words. And it turns out introverts are naturally wired for it. You're not bad at connecting. You're just better at a kind of connection most people never slow down enough to notice. Your cat has always known this about you. Now you do too. Now this next part, this is the one I really want you to pay attention to, because the science here is genuinely surprising. When your cat purrs, it's not just a sound, it's a vibration, and that vibration falls between 25 and 50 Hz. That specific frequency range has been studied by medical researchers, and it's associated with healing tissue, reducing inflammation, and lowering cortisol. Cortisol is your stress hormone, the one that spikes every time you have to be on around people. A 2002 study published in the journal Anthrozoos found that people who regularly spent time with cats had significantly lower cortisol levels and lower blood pressure than those who didn't. Your cat's purr is, biologically, a stress reduction tool, and your body has been absorbing it every time they're near you. But here's the part that makes this really personal. Introverts tend to carry more cortisol throughout the day because social situations, even good ones, are neurologically taxing for them. The introvert brain processes stimulation more deeply than the extrovert brain. That's not weakness, that's just how you're wired, but it means you build up more stress. And your cat is, without either of you planning it, one of the few living things in your world actively bringing that stress back down. You didn't just find a pet. You found something your nervous system actually needed, and it found you back. Here's something that might be even more personal. Introverts need time alone. Not because they're antisocial. not because something is wrong with them, but because time alone is how they refuel, it's how they process, it's how they stay sane. And in most relationships, human relationships, that need creates guilt. Why don't you want to hang out? Why do you need so much space? Why are you always so quiet? Your cat has never once asked you any of that. Psychologist Abraham Maslow wrote about the need to feel accepted without having to change who you are, and he called this one of the deepest human needs of all. Your cat meets that need effortlessly. They don't need you to be more talkative. They don't need you to be more social. They sit with you in your quiet, and they stay. Someone once shared in our community that they used to feel embarrassed that they preferred staying home with their cat over going out, but then they realised their cat was the first relationship they'd ever had where they didn't have to shrink. That realisation didn't make them more of a hermit. It made them finally understand what they'd been looking for in other relationships all along. You don't need to apologise for needing space. You just needed a relationship that understood that from the beginning. And now the last one. This is the one I almost left out, because it's almost too specific, but it's also the one that hits hardest. Introverts spend a lot of their lives feeling like they're too much and not enough at the same time. Too sensitive, too quiet, too in their head, not fun enough, not easy enough, not loud enough. And then a cat chooses them. Not because they performed, not because they were impressive, but because they were still. Because they were safe. Because there was something in their presence that an animal, with no social agenda, no need to impress anyone, decided was worth staying near. Psychologists who study human-animal bonds talk about something called felt security, the deep feeling of being accepted exactly as you are, without conditions. Most introverts don't experience that easily with people, but they experience it with their cat every single day. Carl Jung once wrote that the most important thing in life is to be who you really are, and to find that what you really are is actually enough. Your cat has been proving that to you, quietly, every single day. And maybe the most remarkable thing is, they never had to say a word. You didn't just fall in love with a cat. You found something that saw the real you, the quiet, complex, feeling version of you, and stayed anyway. That's not just companionship. That is one of the purest forms of acceptance that exists. And if you've spent your whole life wondering whether the quietest parts of you are too much or not enough, look at your cat. They already answered that question a long time ago.